Hello, the internet. Welcome back to The Final Boss, and we're here to tell you about Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Hello, Elias.
Hello, Danielson.
Alright, so this game's been out for a while now, about 4 months. Came out in November as usual. A little behind schedule on the review, but I think it's worth it now. I had a couple of months to play it. You didn't play it, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about it today. And our wonderful fans. Hello?
All right. Yes, I'm here.
Pay attention.
I am. I'm alert.
Okay.
Ready.
Well, so
Was this a big waste of time or not?
well, I wouldn't say it was a waste of time, but I don't know. There were certain things that I liked about it. I mean, so the single player, I played through the single player, and this was the first campaign I actually played since Modern Warfare 2. I didn't play any of the Black Ops ones, and I definitely didn't play Ghosts because that game was terrible. But I actually sat through the single player, and I kind of enjoyed it. And it wasn't anything, crazy. But the big deal this year with this installment was the exo suit thing that they added. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, kind of like what's that other game that came out?
Halo?
The one that we got on PC. Similar to Halo.
Oh,
Titanfall.
yeah. Titanfall.
Yeah, very similar to Titanfall, right? I watched a little bit of the video, got some gameplay footage, and it looked and played very similar to Titanfall, from what I remember.
Yeah, they definitely took a lot of cues from that, and maybe Halo.
Or did they?
I think they did. I mean, Titanfall didn't pan out the way I thought it would. But anyway,
I think that game came out as more of like out of the nowhere, where Call of Duty was constantly in development.
well, Call of Duty's always in development.
Right. So so that's what I'm saying. Who knows who was copying who?
That's true. That's a good point. Brilliant. But so anyway, I guess they have these exosuits, and they give you all kinds of special abilities, almost like superhuman strength, I guess, because you got these robotic arms and jumping powers and all kinds of cool stuff. But anyway, so the campaign starts out. You're actually a Marine as usual. The big difference this time is actually you play as a one person, where a lot of the other Call of Duties they had you jumping from person to person. So they kind of let you develop a relationship with the main character, who is Jack Mitchell. He was actually voiced by Troy Baker, which I just recently found out. And Troy Baker's like the hottest new voice actor around. He did Joel from The Last of Us, and he also did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he did the main character in BioShock Infinite, Booker.
Okay.
So, and now he's gonna be in the new Metal Gear. So he's making a name for himself. I'm sure he's been in other stuff that I'm not really sure of. But yeah, so you play as Private Jack Mitchell, and you're in the Marines, and you are. It's basically like your first out with one of your best friends, I think, who you signed up with.
We come into this world with our eyes closed. And most of us choose to live our whole lives that way. We blindly follow anyone who will lead us, giving ourselves over to anything that provides us with a sense of purpose. For me, it was the Marines. I had enlisted 6 months ago with my best friend, Will. Now we were a half world away, being deployed into South Korea. We were brothers in arms. No matter how bad it got, I could always count on him to keep me in line.
Cheer up, Mitchell. Can't be all that bad.
It's just finally starting to sink in.
No, this is what we signed up for.
Well, the old man was a leatherneck, so I didn't really have much of a choice.
Yeah? I joined up because of the old man, too. More just to get away from him.
And in typical Call of Duty fashion, things go awry, and spoiler alert: your friend dies instantaneously, and you get messed up pretty bad. So what happens is, at the funeral for your friend, you're introduced to his father, which is the character Kevin Spacey plays, and that's Jonathan Irons, and he's the CEO of this big private military contracting company. And basically at the funeral, he sort of offers you a position in his company
And a
and
grateful
takes you
nation.
under his wing.
To me, Private Mitchell. I'm Jonathan Irons. I'm Will's father.
Mr. Irons, I'm sorry for your loss, sir.
I'm sure you are, Sergeant. Private Mitchell, you were Will's best friend. You both paid too high a price for your country.
It was an unfortunate tragedy, sir.
It was more than unfortunate, Sergeant. It was unnecessary. Son, I want to offer you a second chance.
Mr. Irons, Mitchell's been discharged with his injuries.
I'm aware of his injuries, Sergeant. At Atlas, we have prosthetics that are 20 years beyond anything the military could offer you. Will told me what kind of soldier you were. You deserve to fight for a military that's as effective as you are. Think about it. Don't let Will's death be in vain. Sergeant.
Naturally, you join in that, and that's where everything kind of kicks off. So, and the story takes you through a bunch of craziness, where, there's like terrorists and explosions and Michael Bay shit and all kinds of stuff.
To the typical Call of Duty single player.
Typical Call of Duty, but they did a lot of cool stuff that wasn't typical of them, which I kind of liked. Like, I don't know, Kevin Spacey and Troy Baker, they brought like a different level of, I guess, voice acting to it. So
Yeah, and I also heard that the graphics for the, kind of displaying the emotional state of the characters was done well, right?
well, the in-game graphics were actually really cool, but the cutscene graphics were they were pre-rendered, so it looked really, really nice on the PS4 anyway. I played a little bit of it on Xbox, and it was just really, really garbage. Xbox
Right.
360, that is. Yeah, I'm the fool who buys 2 games every year. I buy it on 360 to play with my Xbox friends, and then I buy it on the PS4 to when I say F them. So that's what happened. But anyway, yeah, and that's pretty much the story. And then it turns out that I'm just gonna I guess I could give spoilers at this point, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to ruin it for me.
no, but whoever hasn't played it, I mean, I'm sure is never going to play it at this point. Well, anyway, Jonathan Irons, the Kevin Spacey, he's basically he's got this plot for like, taking over, because the government can't handle shit, and like this is terrorists. So with this terrorist group, that's a big point of the game. The group is called the KVA, and they're led by like this big like technology phobic guy, and he doesn't like technology. His name is Hades, and he's basically doing like a bunch of terrorist attacks, and then basically the world turns to Atlas, which is Kevin Spacey's company. I'm just
Right.
gonna call him Kevin Spacey, so I don't have to remember his name.
Yeah, that's perfect.
They turn to Atlas, and now that's basically the way the story starts off. After the KVA, you eventually take them out, and then you come to realize that Kevin Spacey has this big plot to like take over the world, as usual.
Right.
But where it doesn't really follow the cues of previous Call of Duties with like the Michael Bay movie explosions and all that stuff, like there is a lot of that, but they had a lot of cool like stealthy missions, and which I actually really liked, and I always wish that was in a Call of Duty game. Like, a lot of the Call of Duties, especially the Modern Warfare ones, it's just constant action. It's always explosions and shooting, and if you stand in one spot, you're just going to get swarmed constantly. Like, you have to move forward in order to stop, like, people from spawning, which is kind of silly.
Right.
This game was... What's that?
I was going to say, so the gameplay overall was an improvement, a step back, more of the same?
Single player, I think it was an improvement. I really liked it. I thought graphically, again, it was really good. The story itself, like, kept me interested for the, I don't know, whatever it was, 6-7 hours. I don't remember, but I definitely liked it. It ended really, really shittily, but
Shittily.
yeah, shittily. It's my made-up word for the day.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, that would be the one reason I would get a Call of Duty game. As you know, my background with Call of Duty is more
Yeah,
so about the single player. So
you're the minority though, like the like
yeah, of course, everyone
super
cares about
minority.
yeah. But I mean, if you go back to its roots, I mean, that's where Call of Duty got its fame. So I mean, that's what always drew me in.
I remember hating Call of Duty
Yeah, I'm
back in the day. I remember on PlayStation or what is it, PS2 or PS1. I used to play the shit out of the single player of Medal of Honor,
yeah.
and then Call of Duty came into town, like trying to take over the World War II racket, and I was very upset because Medal of Honor was my shit. That was my jam, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
So, but no, yeah, I didn't really start playing Call of Duty till Call of Duty 4, and I fell in love with it. Modern Warfare 2 completely wrecked my life because it was amazing. Played it constantly. Black Ops, I hated them both, and then Ghosts, I played for maybe like a week. It was the fastest I ever sold a game in my life. The graphics on Ghost alone were just like a joke. But as a answer to that, this game was, I think, a really good response. Activision brought in Sledgehammer, do the multiplayer and develop the game. And I think they did a pretty good job with the single player. We'll get into the multiplayer in a few minutes, but yeah, story-wise, pretty simple story as usual. You have to save the world from like weapons of mass destruction and like some guy being bad. And overall, it was I thought it was pretty decent. You'd actually find interest in this since you're Greek. There was actually a big mission in Santorini, Greece.
Santorini, yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool, I gotta say.
Yeah, it was all futuristic and like different looking because this game takes place in 2054, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it skips actually from 2054, then it goes to 2060 actually. And then eventually, what happens is once you find out that Mr. Irons or Kevin Spacey is being a jerk, you actually join this other group called Sentinels. And they're basically a team of like former Marines and like military personnel that are basically going to attack Atlas and like finish everything off, knock him down from his tower, and get everything all set. This game actually takes you to a lot of places, like in the world. It takes you, Greece, Bulgaria, Antarctica, Baghdad. Like, there's a lot of cool places in it, which, with the graphical power of the PS4, and I guess they did a good job with it. It's a pretty game, especially with like views and the distances and stuff that like can easily be ignored by a lot of games.
Right.
I think they did a good job with that. And by the end of the game, it's just kind of, it doesn't really end very well. Like it's a big build up for really like it just kind of like fizzles out.
Yeah, that's disappointing because, like I said, that would be a big draw for me to get the game and play it. So if they didn't hit the mark there, I'm probably not going to pick it up.
Well, the good news is the war from Atlas is far from over, as the main character points out after the ending.
Yeah, multiplayer. Let's talk about it.
Multiplayer is the bane of my existence, the cause of much anger and disappointment and frustration and some joy with these Call of Duty games.
They left in some room for joy.
A little bit. There's joy for like the first like couple of nights that I played it. I mean, let's face it. Like you said, very rarely nobody's buying this game for single player.
Right.
They're going to play multiplayer.
Exactly.
And it really just astonishes me how year after year they just progressively get worse. Specifically because there's like glaring issues from the previous title that they refuse to fix. And I don't know, I just don't understand how that even happens. I didn't really like Black Ops 1. Black Ops 2 I played for a while. I played a lot of it actually, and I actually genuinely liked the multiplayer. Like the graphics were good, I thought the sound was good, the balance was pretty good with the kill streaks and the weaponry and everything like that, but the big problem with the game is that it lagged like crazy.
Yeah,
and
it's unacceptable.
Right. But not only was it like lagging, like rubber band lagging, but it also it didn't. Earlier when Modern Warfare 3 came out, they introduced lag compensation, which is really just the dumbest thing of all time. And for those of you that don't know what that is, lag compensation, essentially, to put it simply, really just takes all the good connections on the server, on the lobby, and dumbs them down. Or, vice versa, takes the bad connections and gives them a boost in latency. So that way they can compete with those people who have good internet, those of us who have good internet, which everybody should have good internet in 2015. But that's besides the point.
That's true. That might be a whole other night conversation.
Yeah, but so basically what you have is, and you can watch this too. It's really crazy. You could see it happen if you watch kill cams and stuff. I could have a guy on my screen at a certain point in time, and I'm shooting at him. Yet on his screen, he saw me 3 seconds earlier or 2 seconds earlier. Sometimes it's milliseconds. But that boost and advantage is impossible to play against because you can't do anything. So that's a huge problem with the multiplayer, and they never fixed it, and it's the single reason why I had to stop playing it. I mean, I played it for about a month or two after it came out, and I haven't played it since. I didn't get all the new downloadable content, so I can't speak on that. And I don't know if they've patched it recently, but I doubt it. But that was the big issue of the game, and it was a game breaker because you'll shoot at somebody, nothing happens, they turn around and melt you in one shot, and it's just not fair.
Yeah, it's unfortunate if it's suffering from technical difficulty.
I mean, I know you're not a big multiplayer fan, but I mean, you've played enough multiplayer games to realize how frustrating that would be, especially when you're sitting here playing this game like consistently every single day.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the lag compensation aside, I thought they did a pretty decent job with some of the multiplayer aspects. You know, you have this exosuit now, so this is like the big thing, the big gimmick of the game, and they took, a fast-paced game and they made it even more fast-paced, which I have my issues with, but whatever. It's kind of fun. It opens up a whole new a whole new element of fighting, because in previous titles, everything is lateral. Like, you're looking at an area, you're maybe somebody's up in a window, but for the most part, it's straight on gunfighting. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, now with the introduction of the exosuit, you can jump from rooftop to rooftop. You can get into otherwise unreachable windows, so people could really be anywhere. It adds cheesiness to it, but it also adds like another element where if two teams are playing like legitimately and have like teamwork involved, it could be kind of cool and fun. Sadly, though, that's never the case. So people use this to their advantage to camp and, do cheesiness, but, what are you going to do?
Right.
But otherwise, the exosuit's cool. The exosuit comes with like a bunch of abilities. You have cloaking, you have speed, you have health regen. Like, you have a bunch of different abilities that come with the exosuit that you could utilize. Sure. Personally, when I play, I use the cloaking just because it gives me, even if I had to rework my whole play style for Call of Duty because of the lag compensation. Now, normally when I used to play Modern Warfare and everything, I used to just run and gun. What are you clicking over there?
I was just doing some research.
Well, I would just run around, I would run and gun and do my thing, but now you can't really do that. You have to be a little bit more laid back, otherwise you're going to get killed. So I use the cloaking device personally because it gives me even just a little bit of an edge. If it takes them that much longer to spot me, I could get the kill.
Now, would you say that these are any better than any of the games that came out recently? Like we were talking about earlier in regards to Titanfall and some of those other games?
I really like Titanfall. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. I know you got it and a couple of our friends got it, but I don't know, for some reason it just died out. And maybe I didn't put as much time as it into I would have liked to, because it was on the PC. And I had it for 362, but it was no comparison. I couldn't even play it.
Right.
But, I'm not a big PC gamer, especially for shooters like that. I just have a much better reflex and, dexterity with the controller, just because I guess that's what I'm used to. And I know that sounds, retarded for anybody who plays PC games, because everybody says mouse and keyboard is just, dominant. I guess that's what I started playing first-person shooters on, so that's what I'm comfortable with. But yeah, I don't know, Titanfall just didn't pan out for some reason, and it lost traction really quick. I don't think we got a big chance to really dig into it, but I did have fun playing it for the time I did. I'm excited that it's going to be multi-platform now,
right,
with Titanfall 2, so I'll definitely check that out. I mean, most of the guys who made Titanfall are responsible for the best Call of Duty to date, I think, which is Modern Warfare 2, so
right, so you're thinking that they did it better in terms of the exosuit type of tactics?
Well, in Titanfall, you could run on walls and stuff. You couldn't really do that. The exosuit in this one was mainly just for double jumps and burst forwards.
Okay.
And kind of burst back and forth, strafing type of stuff.
Right.
So it was different. I thought Call of Duty, I think they balanced it well. Probably prefer this one to Titanfall's, just because Titanfall's, if you do too many jumps and stuff, you can kind of lose track of what you're doing. It gets a little crazy.
Right.
But, yeah. As far as the other stuff they use in multiplayer, they actually took a cue from Black Ops. Black Ops used to have a pick 10 system, where they used a pick 13 with Advanced Warfare, and basically you have 13 slots to do whatever you want with, whether it be gun attachments, perks, kill streak rewards, grenades, exosuit abilities. You have 13 slots to use. So you kind of have to pick and choose, what you want, what suits your playstyle. And I think that was pretty cool. I kind of like that because it gives you the freedom to play how you want to play, in the sense that, like for me personally, I was always a very offensive player, so I would choose I originally started with the kill streaks and stuff. I soon found that some of the higher kill streaks were really hard to get, and there was no point in using them. So I would use the lower kill streaks and maybe less of like gun attachments and whatnot to give me more ability with those, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Whereas some people could not use a kill streak and have, 3 gun attachments, 2 perks on each category, and play that way. Are you following?
Yeah, I am. I'm listening.
Sound like you're sleeping.
No, I'm not sleeping. I'm just trying to take it all in, because that was the part of multiplayer that usually would lose me. There's just so many extra attachments and all these different bonuses, and that was part of the multiplayer that I didn't really like, was that it became kind of arcadey.
Yeah, Call of Duty is very arcadey.
Yeah.
But I personally like that. I mean, compared to Battlefield, it's completely different.
So, did you like the? Yeah, I agree with you. But did you like the upgrade system and the what do they call it? Like reputation system in Call of Duty?
No, it was just like the classes. I mean, I don't really know what the name was for it, but they basically had to pick 13, and then you had a lot of unlockables. Like you would have in every game.
Right.
Where, you basically each match, if you do certain challenges and stuff, you get these little crates, like drop crates or whatever they call them, loot crates, if you will, and then they give you they can give you some limited perks like double XP. They can give you stuff to add to your outfits, like your avatar in the game. Things like that. Weapon, I guess, I don't know how I'd call them. Weapon variations, I guess. Let's say you have an AK-47. They would be 5 different variants of the AK-47, which they give different buffs and stuff. So you can unlock these different things, which was kind of cool. I did like that. However, the other thing I didn't like about it was completely random. You didn't have to do anything special to get a special weapon.
Right.
So you could potentially play somebody who's using arguably one of the best weapons in the game just because they got it by happenstance and you didn't, and it's kind of unfair that way, but whatever.
I think it's
the same.
I think that's pretty cool, actually.
It is cool. I think I would have liked it a little bit more if it was less random, but that's just me. Right. Perks wise, everything was, similar stuff that they've had in other games. Gun attachments were the same. The kill streaks were really disappointing in this game. Very unimaginative. I think this game had the worst kill streaks out of any of the Call of Duties that I've played.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and they were really hard to get too, because the way that the gameplay style for these newer Call of Duties, and this Black Ops was like this too, it really pissed me off, is they just completely push you to engage. So there comes a point, if you're killing a bunch of people, they're gonna start spawning on top of you until you're dead, and you can't do anything about it. So you could post up in a spot, and it could be a great choke point in the map or whatever you want to call it, and you're picking guys off. After a period of time, they're gonna start spawning behind you, and they're gonna swarm your position, and you're gonna die. Either that or people are just spawning behind you. There's no rhyme or reason to anything that goes on in these maps.
Yeah, I hate that, and that's something that I think is not just from this game, but has happened in other Call of Duties.
Modern Warfare 2 and Call of Duty 4 did it perfectly, and everything changed in Modern Warfare 3. That's when these games started just going downhill. I guess this is the point where we're forced to give a rating on the game. So to tell the audience what our rating structure is, and here's kind of the gimmick when we do these reviews, is that none of us involved in the review are going to know each other's rating until we reveal it during the review, if that makes any sense.
I think so.
I just think it's kind of fun that we don't talk about it beforehand, but whatever. So we have 4 different ratings. The highest being full price, meaning you will pay full price for this game. We recommend you go out and get it right away. The, kind of, alright, mediocre type of rating would be drop in price. So wait till it drops in price, go pick it up.
Yeah, or Black Friday,
Yeah, deals. Because you fucking love deals.
We love deals.
You love deals.
I mean, of course.
The third rating, which is I don't know. That's going to be the borrow it rating. Go borrow it from a friend or family member or steal it if you have to. I don't know. And then the worst one, which is that's just we're simply saying fuck it. Don't even pick it up. Don't even worry about it. So I know you didn't play this game. You can't give it a rating, so I'll do the honors. And I'm gonna say that this game, I'll probably say it's a drop in price for me.
A drop in. I'm surprised, to be honest with you.
What? Why is that?
Well, just because of your usual enthusiasm with Call of Duty, or at least.
I don't love Call of Duty as much as everybody thinks I do. I just really like Modern Warfare 2 and Call of Duty 4.
Yeah, but you spend a substantial amount of time throughout this franchise and the series.
Very substantial. It's not even the word for it.
And you know, I know it's heartbreaking to see a series just go to shit. So
Well,
but
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, but you're still recommending the game in essence. You're just saying you wouldn't pay full price. So
Yeah, if going back, I would not pay full price for it, knowing what I know now.
but
I'd
you
say
can still have some fun, basically, though. Is what you're saying.
You can still have some fun. Yeah, if you're not like a hardcore Call of Duty fan, I don't suggest getting it for multiplayer, because a lot of the stuff that the exosuit, a lot of the abilities that it gives you is going to be, I think, for seasoned Call of Duty players or seasoned first-person shooter players. Call of Duty is already a fast game. People love to run around and run and gun, and that's been a staple of the game for a while now.
Right.
And the exosuit makes it that much easier. So there's some guys that are just like crazy with the movement, and you can't even touch them. It's impossible. Even for me, somebody who plays them, plays pretty often. So I wouldn't recommend to just a casual person, like, trying to, like... I mean, there's probably no casual Call of Duty players that exist anyway, but if there is somebody that's listening and they're like, hey, you know what, maybe I'll go pick it up, give it an old college try at the...
Well, there's probably people that haven't played it in a while.
Multiplayer. Yeah, I don't know, I'd stay away from this one for multiplayer purposes, just because it's a big learning curve.
Oh, so you're saying that maybe the single player could be a potential draw.
Well, yeah, well, for somebody like you, if you want just an entertaining game that's pretty, you don't really have to put much thought into it. It's not going to be thought-provoking, although the campaign does deal with a lot of real-world issues, like, how the government or Congress or whatever has trouble making decisions, and like there's a lot of private military companies that are in existence. There's a lot of stuff like that, but for the most part, and terrorism, which, whatever. But for the most part, it's not very thought-provoking. It's not going to make you think any. It's just an entertaining, kind of fun thing to do if you're just a casual player. Multiplayer, I'd say you have to be a little bit more casual to get into it. If you had the time to invest and sort of train yourself to... Because, honestly, who wants to play a game and die over and over again? I play people where they go 2-17 on the KD ratio, and it's just like, why are you even playing? How are you even having fun? So, yeah. I wouldn't suggest that, because you're just going to die over and over again. I'd probably get destroyed mercilessly if I pop the game in right now and play, because I haven't played it in so long. But yeah, I would say, pick it up at a price drop. I'm sure it's dropped in price now. Can you see the internet over there, Elias?
Yeah, I think I can. Let me see.
What is it at GameStop right now?
Yeah, it just looks like a recent price drop to $40.
Okay, so you're gonna save $20 on it. You'll have some fun. So if you're interested, go pick it up for that. But I'm sure everybody's played it already. Well, that'll do it for today, folks. If you enjoyed the video or the review, leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Subscribe if you want more, and we'll be coming back with similar things. Any final words?
Don't get Call of Duty.
All right.